Everybody, welcome to the Outlet Podcast channel. My name is Gazy, host of the Outlet Podcast, and I invite you to check out what is going down here on these vlogs. And to do that, I'd like for you to subscribe, please. Yeah, subscribe, because I got another video. I'm uploading a couple of videos today, so that's going to be really cool. And check out my podcast on iTunes, Soundcloud, Stitcher Radio. Either way, they're great apps. I love iTunes. I love Soundcloud, because in Soundcloud you can actually comment on the piece of audio that you're listening right at that moment. Apart from subscribing to the podcast, apart from liking the podcast as well. So podcasting is cool. Today, guys, what I want you to do, and everything else will be in the description below, like all links for Facebook and stuff. What I want to do today is talk Civil War 3. I got this variant cover. Civil War 3, Civil War, in short, we all are familiar when Marvel comes out with the Secret Wars, when Marvel comes out with What Ifs, when Marvel comes out with these, like The Siege, things like this. When they come out with things like this, we know it's monumental, we know it's going to shape the Marvel Universe, it's going to rock it. Well, with Civil War, we all know what happens in the original Civil War. Tony Stark and Iron Man, Tony Stark, Iron Man, and Captain America, they have a falling out, and then everything happens that happens. You've probably seen the movie already, so you've seen how Civil War works. Well, with the current Civil War, if you don't know, current Civil War, it's Carol Danvers versus Iron Man, and there is not a lot of fighting yet. This is great stuff. Okay, the way this current Civil War is working out, there is apparently a mutant, an inhuman, Ulysses by name, and he is able to predict catastrophes before they actually happen. He actually manifests them and feels them. So Carol Danvers, after fighting in space with the sect of the Avengers, she decides, what if we take the initiative? What if we go out first with this predictive knowledge beforehand? Why don't we go out and stop it instead of avenging it? Tony doesn't like that. And what goes on further is that Tony loses a loved one, and he's very bent on calling out this hypocrisy that if these visions are true, or, if these visions are true, then they should happen. And if they don't happen, then they're not true. They're just imagination. Tony loses a loved one because of these visions, long story short. And currently, in this issue, they confront one of the next possible visions. And it's involving the Hulk. That the Hulk is going to be mad, and he is going to destroy. Well, Carol Danvers wants to go stop it. Tony wants to get information. He wants to know what's going down. And right now I'm definitely battling whether I should go. I don't want to spoil it, but what I do want to say is that there's not a lot of fighting, because I think the superheroes know what fighting does. However, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking, and it's not just like stupid. It's not just like stupid, I get it, I understand it, let's move on dialogue. It's where these dialogues are taking place, and after what these dialogues are taking place. They go and actually talk to. They actually go and talk to Bruce Banner. Now, Bruce Banner has since 1 year, it's been 1 year, and he hasn't hulked out yet, because of certain experiments he's able to withhold that. So, man, okay, all right. So I'll just leave it at that. I won't spoil it. I recommend you go pick up the latest Civil War. This is a variant cover. The other cover does have the Hulk. It's a black cover, red words on it. This one is a variant cover, Hawkeye. Awesome cover. And so, my reaction to this new Civil War. I've talked about the Civil War before, and this new Civil War that's been going on. And my point of view, my perspective, I definitely love it. I love that there aren't bullets and fists and web shooters and lasers and Thor hammers and shields being thrown around. I love that. I love where they are going. I love the fact that it's not about Captain America, you know, Steve Rogers. They had to use someone who is as patriotic. They didn't use Sam Wilson. They're using Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel. And that's okay. That's pretty cool for what she stands for. I like to think of her as the next possible candidate to be a Captain America. So that's pretty cool. I like that there have been no teams yet to have been involved. Now the Inhumans are involved because this is their people. I'm on Team Iron Man. I don't like what Carol Danvers is doing personally. I don't like the fact that you don't know for sure that this Inhuman Ulysses, you don't know for sure that he's doing this. Like, why is he doing this? Why? We don't know everything. Now, they do know that he does see visions. Okay. But it's what happens. Because there's been a number of things. Because of these visions, I'll go ahead and say, because of these visions, War Machine's dead. War Machine was killed because of these visions. So, these visions aren't squeaky clean. They're not, like, perfect. So, I'm definitely on Tony Stark's side because legally, if a crime has not been committed, you cannot arrest that person. There's no, unless the crime is committed. I also agree with Tony because the Avengers avenge. They're not on the offensive. They're not on the defensive. They avenge. If we go back to the last Secret Wars, we'll see that the Avengers were off in space. The whole Avengers war, the Avengers planets, when they were going off to different planets and trying to stop the incursion from happening, then they ended up coming back and saving the day, but they weren't off on the offensive. They weren't avenging. So let me know what you think. I'm rambling because, man, I'm as I speak, I'm battling whether or not I should talk about what's going on in this comic. But I don't want to do that. It's just 2 issues in. Apart from the side stories and all these other comics, the main story is just like 3 issues, including this one, in. So please, go to your local comic book stores and pick this storyline up because it's a great story. It's pretty cheap. It's not that much. It doesn't cost that much, and you will definitely be entertained. I'm all for comic books more than the movies. And that's just a little... Me, I'm a comic book person. I've developed into one over time, and I trust comic books as the gospel of these various superheroes storylines. So, yeah, that's it, you guys. Anyways, like the video, comment below, let me know whose team you're on as far as, not Pokemon Go, as far as Carol Danvers or Tony Stark. So, my name's Gazy. I'm the host of the Outlet Podcast. Time for me to get back to work. On my way back to the job site. Take care, you guys. Connect, recharge.